Norse in Wonderland, when nothing's as it seems. Norse in Wonderland, the truth will haunt your dreams. Norse in Wonderland, when nothing's as it seems. Norse in Wonderland, the truth will haunt your dreams.
Sometimes the footage tells the truth faster than the headlines. Charlie Kirk was shot on a college campus, and while the news is still saying hospitalized, condition unknown, come on, we all saw the same video. The media is out here like, we can't speculate. Bro, he's spurting like a garden hose at Home Depot. That's not speculation, that's biology. They'll report condition unknown until a priest walks out of the ICU shaking his head. Then they'll go, well, technically he's still hospitalized. If the official story lags any harder, it's going to need a firmware update. Before I go deeper, let me be clear. This isn't about celebrating tragedy. Regardless of whether you agreed with Charlie Kirk or not, he shaped the political conversation for an entire generation. He founded Turning Point USA as a teenager and built it into one of the most visible conservative youth organizations in America. He put himself into the fire on college campuses, facing critics directly, debating ideas head-on. You don't have to agree with every stance he took to recognize that he worked tirelessly. He showed up and he forced conversations that others avoided. That consistency, that willingness to engage, deserves respect. And he has mine. Now let's look at what we actually saw in the footage, because biology doesn't lie. Arterial bleed. Rhythmic spurting from the neck, almost certainly carotid. When an artery goes, we're talking minutes, sometimes seconds. So basically, he would have to have, like, one of the world's best trauma surgeons within the immediate vicinity to, like, respond immediately. Posturing. The way his body stiffened instantly, that's neurological trauma, likely brainstem or spinal cord insult. That's not conscious bracing. That's the nervous system shutting down. And then we can hear the shot, which is clearly a rifle round. And a rifle wound, this wasn't a small puncture. Rifles don't poke, they rip through, shred tissue, and transfer massive kinetic energy. The damage is catastrophic. Here's why the media wouldn't say what was obvious. First, they had to notify family. Second, liability. No outlet wants to be the one that declares too early, though I was definitely willing. Third, narrative control. If you can't control the facts, you can at least control the timing. So while the official line said hospitalized, what we saw on camera tells another story. And once again, we're asked to suspend our own eyes until we're given permission to believe them. But here's the part that feels familiar, almost too familiar. Political assassinations have always followed this strange choreography. Think about it. JFK, a rifle in broad daylight. The Zapruder film showing more than the official story ever admitted. RFK, a lone gunman narrative, while witnesses swore shots came from multiple angles. Others across history. Leaders taken out in public view, always followed by chaos, always followed by spin. Let's not forget the more recent multiple Trump assassinations that were failures, obviously, well, so far. And then there's the shadow of MKUltra, the government's long history of psychological operations. What better way to fracture the collective psyche than to stage violence in front of students, cameras, and a national audience? It's not just about removing one man. It's about trauma as theater. Assassination, not just as elimination, but as messaging. Why do political assassinations so often come with narrative gaps, contradictions, or delays? How many times have we been handed the lone actor story while deeper connections are ignored? What's the psychological effect on a generation of students watching a leader fall before their eyes? And most of all, who benefits from these patterns repeating? History doesn't just repeat, it echoes. And if we don't listen to the patterns, we miss the script that's already written. We live in the gap between what's seen and what's said. I stand rooted in truth, courage, and protection of the innocent. I choose awareness over ignorance. I speak what must be spoken, even when the world is silent. And if anything ever happens to me, it's more than a convenient accident. I didn't do it to myself. I'm happy, healthy, and cautious.
Chasing the rabbit, down we must go. Where does it end? Nobody knows. Hurry up now, we're running out of time. You better keep up or get left behind. Norse in Wonderland.